Hello everyone. This is Tensi with another Diva tutorial. Today I am going to be showing how you can make spring hats for your Diva with little or no effort and using materials and items around your home. And here are just a few of them that I use to create my Diva hats. And so these are the things that you're going to need. You're going to need a glue gun with some glue sticks, a scissors, some rubber bands, any type of jar or any interesting shape object that you have around your home, and a placemat. So if you would like to know how I create these hats, please come along for the journey. It literally takes just a few seconds to get your hat started. So, for those of you who have not yet subscribed to my channel, I'm just telling you, you are going to be missing out because I am going to be bringing these videos like clockwork. And if you don't have your notification bell on, you would miss some important information on how I've been doing things with the divas. So the first the first hat that I want to show you, and I'm going to put these over on the side, is the one with the tin can. So this tin can is a Del Monte, the green bean. It's a medium-sized can that I have taken, and I am going to make a hat, the Diva hat, using this can. So I want you to see how I do this. So I take the hat, and this has been on this for a little bit. But if I were to take like a hat, let's flatten it down so it looked like a placemat, right? I'm going to take it, and this is where your rubber bands will come in handy. I am going to take this along with a rubber band, and the tighter the rubber band is, the better it will be for keeping the hat and keeping the shape of the hat. So I am going to take the placemat and I'm going to put it over the can like this. And then I'm going to take my rubber bands as tight as I can. The tighter the rubber bands, like I said, is the easier it will be. Voila. In a matter of seconds, this is what you got. It has the scallops, right? And then this is what it looks like underneath. So what I usually do, I make sure that the middle part is like in the middle of it. And then I just pull on it like this to make sure that the rubber bands, and even with these rubber bands, the tighter the rubber band is, the better it will be. Because when we apply a little glue to this is what helps to keep the shape. All right, so this is the first part of it. See, voila, this is done. This is what it looks like, right? And ain't it like little cute, like you have a hat holder underneath here? And this tin can you could use for multiple times. So this is like a hat holder, I would think. Like that's the only thing I could think of in calling it. But or hat maker. And if you wanted it your hat to go down or to have like a deeper part of, I don't even know what they call this. I know they usually say this is the brim of the hat, but if you wanted it to be deeper, all you have to do is move the rubber bands down. So all you're doing is taking your rubber bands and you're going to move it down over, see, as far down as you would like. It just makes the brim a little bit smaller. And of course, you could see that it's a different shape altogether. So what I usually do is make sure that it's pretty much even, so that I could have a nice looking hat. And voila. I need to move this piece down because the rest of it, the rubber band has been moved down. And that's it. You could have different shape hats. Look how much bigger space you have here compared to the last one. And that's how I get these types of hats. All right, that one was pretty simple. So what I'm going to do to reinforce the rubber bands, I'm going to put some glue around the rubber bands on the outer part of the hat. And I'm just going to go around and try to be as neat as I can with this. And I'm just going to put some glue around where the rubber band is. That way it will secure the rubber bands, give it its shape, the hat its shape. And then if you want to add some bling, you could do so. So all I'm doing is going around and putting some rubber band on the outer part of the hat. Like so. And then, as you could tell, you could hardly see where the rubber bands or where the glue is, because I try to choose rubber bands that are as close to the color of the hat that I'm doing. So here we have it. I let that dry for a few minutes, but in the meantime, I'm going to turn my hat stand over, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my hot glue gun and I'm going to go around the can. Just pull the hat apart a little bit. I'm going to show you. Right in this part, you don't have to worry about it getting on the can, because the can will help the hat to keep its shape. So just keep going around the can. Let's keep going around the can. We will be able to remove it easily. And I'm just going around the can. This helps to give the shape of the hat. And when I take it off the can, you won't see hardly any glue. Or even if you see glue, you won't be able to, it wouldn't matter, because this is going to be on the inside. So your customers won't be able to see this part. And we don't need to stuff the hat with anything. And there we have it. So now I am going to show you how, when I take this hat, I could take it up now and take it off just like this. And we have the shape of the hat. Voila, it's done. It is finished, and there's hardly any glue. I just take off the excess. Hardly have any glue, and that's it. And what I would do if I was adding some bling, so I'm going to put this back on because I'm going to show you how I would add the bling to this. So once you take it off, sometimes it's a little bit harder to put back on the can. So I would suggest that you do everything before you take it off the can. But this one, I didn't really plan to put bling on it. So just for the tutorial part, I want to show you how I would add the bling. So let me get this back on. So now the hat is back on. And as you could see, you could hardly see any glue. But I am going to show you how I do the bling for this. Look at that. Look at what the back looks like. And so I'm going to show you how I do the bling. And the bling, as well as the glue and the rubber bands, help to reinforce the shape. So I start by just placing, of course you cut depending on how wide your area is that you need to cover with the bling, you're going to cut it accordingly. And so now all I'm going to do is to place the bling like so, and then I'm just going to add some glue to there. So I'm going to start by putting the glue where I want it. And I'm going to go all the way around. And I will continue to add some glue to the area where I want the bling to be. And then I am just going around. And that's it. When you add in the bling, or if you have material, sometimes you would see that I add fabric to the hat. Depending on what the diva is wearing, I may add some fabric to the hat that she's wearing to match. And this is all I do. I take it and add it to the hat. So here it is with the bling part. And I just keep adding until I'm finished. Just keep adding. And voila, we're almost there. I like my fingers to be clean while I'm using the glue. And we're almost done with this part. So ain't that cute? Like, and so easy. Effortless, like I said. And the only thing is that this glue, I hate like the glue, having to use like glue. And so the least, if I don't have to use a whole lot of it, I am the happiest person ever. So this is one of the reasons why I had to come up with something that would have been easy, would have been fun to do, because this is fun to make these hats and come up with different designs and stuff. I know that there are other crafters who are making hats, but I wanted to come up with something that would be easy and it would be fun to do, as well as you could make your own designs with these. There's so many things that you could do. And here we got it. It's pretty much finished. So let me just cut the excess, if I could get all this glue off of my fingers. And you would see the final part of this one. So making sure that it's glued, and that's it. Clean up the extra glue that's just hanging out. And that's it. We will be through with this one. All right, so I'm just going to look at it, make sure that there's no glue. Like right now, I'm just making sure that there's no glue all over. And this is where it is. All right, so now I'm just going to just make sure, as you could tell, I'm spinning it around. And we have a perfectly shaped hat. I'm going to let you see it. This is what it looks like. And I'm loving the shape of it. And here we go. All right. So now let's make sure that it's cool enough that we could take this off of the tin can now. And then our hat will be finished. This is it. So I'm just going to turn it over on the side. And then just pull it a little bit. Just pull a little. And then here we have it. I believe in being gentle. Can you tell? And there we have it. It's done. Our hat is finished. Just cleaning up the excess glue. And here we have a perfectly shaped hat. Not a lot of work. And it's done. This is done. I could touch it. I could hold it. I could throw it. It's done. There's nothing in here. And it's done. Voila. Done. So you could do almost anything with these hats. I've gotten to the point where I'm doing, and as you could tell, there's nothing in there. And it's easy. The same way I could show you. If you want to know how to do these types, you could let me know in the comment. But this is what we got. All right, so moving on to the next thing. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to do this one because I wanted you to see how I use something like a vase. And as you can see that it has like a different shape, like the vase. It's not cylinder looking, but it's kind of like a different shape. So that's what I liked about it. And I'm going to show you how I took this and also made a hat from it. So I'm going to look for the middle section again, the middle part. And again, I'm going to take my rubber bands. Make sure that your rubber bands are really, really tight and sturdy. And get them as close to the color of the hat that you're doing. That will really, really help a lot. So I'm looking for a really tight one around the same color. And it looks like I may have to use like a black or something that, excuse me guys, I live next to whatchamacallit, a base. So this is what we go through. It's not all the time, but it's enough. So sometimes if the rubber band is not tight enough, I will use like a double or triple rubber band just so that I could keep it nice and tight. So I am going to look for the middle of this, and then I'm going to put my rubber band on, just like so. Voila, it's done. Make sure that it's all the way down, and that's it. I'm done with that part. Was that simple or was that simple? That was. And then look at the shape of the hat. It looked like it's not a square and it's not a circle. I don't know what shape I would say that it is, but it's different to the last one that I did. And I'll let you see the side of it. So now, do you see it has the shape? And so I am just going to make sure that I pull it out. And I don't know if you could see, but this part, there's a smaller, the front piece is is smaller than the back part. So this would be good for divas that you want to show like their face. So I would use a hat like this just because the front is a little bit shorter than the back. Look at how long the back is compared to the front. See? And this is all I do. Look for items around the house that has these shapes, and then I could do what I have to do with it. So now what I'm going to do is take the glue, because I want this to remain the shape that I have here. I want this shape to be the shape that I'm going with for this hat. Now, in terms of blinging this hat out, I probably won't bling it because it has like colors going on, like 2 different colors going on, unless I'm going to use like a silver or something, or even if I had like a black, the silver will probably look good. So let's see what happens when I'm finished. All right, so I'll do what I did the first time, which is to just make sure that it's all pulled out. And then I'm going to start to go around the hat with my glue gun and reinforce the rubber bands. So I'm just going to glue around where the rubber bands are. And this helps to keep the shape. What I found is that if I don't do this part, then the rubber bands, it just stays there. But it can, if you, after you take it off of the stand, then you have a hard time, like there may be some places that might be pushed in, and we don't want that. We want all of it to be even. So that's why I go around with the hot glue gun and just make sure that I secure this part. So that's all we do for these. Let's put some glue on the rubber band on the outer part, and then I'm also going to do that on the inside as well. Just to reinforce. Reinforce. That's the name of the game today. Just to reinforce these rubber bands. All right, I think that should be good. While this dries, I'm going to turn it over and again do the same thing that we did before, where I take some glue, hot glue, and then I'm just going to go around, just pull the hat out a little bit so that the glue will go down into that part of the hat. And that's what keeps it from, help it to keep its shape. And this literally takes just a couple minutes and we are done. Voila, it's done. And the reinforcement is there. So I'm going to just let this dry for a minute, and then I'm going to take it off. And here we have it. The last piece. And again, this item, this vase, we could use it again. So we could do, use this for multiple hat making, and we don't have to worry. And it was an item that we had around the home. All right, so here we have, it's still a little wet, the glue. So I decided that I am going to add a little bling to this hat, right? I had this, like, it's like forever. I think I had gotten it from either Hobby Lobby's or Michael's. back in like Christmas time, and I decided I'm going to use a piece of it to kind of cover up the rubber band that I had, because I ended up using like a black rubber band for this this hat, and so I want to kind of cover the rubber band. So I am going to use this as a cover up, but it's going to be a cute cover up. So I want you to see how when I'm making these hats, that sometimes you just have to go with the flow. And so I'm going with the flow. I want this. So I'm just going to, again, use some glue. And I'm going to stick this down. And then I'll have some added reinforcement for the hat as well. So I am going to finish this up. Just basically reinforce where the rubber band is. Put some more glue. Stick it. And voila. Takes literally a few seconds to do this. It's not going to take all day. And here I have it. Real fast. In a hurry. And look at this. Voila. It's almost done. And it covers up the glue, and you don't see the rubber band. So here we have it. Ain't that cute? And I didn't have to get burnt with a hot glue today. I hate this hot glue when you get burned. I'm yet to order that protective shield that you put over your fingers, but I've been trying to find easier ways of dealing with this glue. I know as a crafter that, you know, we probably will get burned, you know, several times or whatever, but I'm trying to avoid that. So all I'm doing now is just finishing up, securing my beads, and also securing the hat. And here we have it. It's done. It's done. So by just adding some beads, it takes it up a notch, and it's cute. And it could be for one of the church divas, or it could be worn for any other diva if she has the clothes that matches. You know, it's about being creative, and that's all it is, being creative. And here it's done. So I'm just going to finish this by cutting it off, if I could find my scissors, right here. And this one would be finished. And see how it really didn't take a whole lot of time. We used something that was around the house, and we could use that object again and again. And so I'm just basically just making a way where we could stick this last piece of bead on, and voila, it's done. Making sure that it's reinforced, and look at it. So now I could take it off the stand, and voila, it's done. So let's take it off the stand. All right, let's take it off the stand. I just flipped it over. And then just making sure, as I see piece of this is off. Just came off. So I'm just going to make sure that it's glued. And reinforced. And that's, let me just make sure. And then I'm just pulling it up. And here we have it. And it's done. Here we have it. Twirl it around. And so this one is done. So I could touch it. It doesn't lose its shape. And it still has its shape. And then this is what the inside of it looks like. Nothing. All right. This is the last one that I'm going to do for today. I will be showing you some others because I do have some other items that you could look around your house and you'll find to do these spring diva hats. And this is one of them. This jar I got from the Dollar Tree. And then I have a vase that I think I got this vase from the Dollar Tree. And this is a different style hat. And I use this vase as the stand for the hat. And believe it or not, I'm looking for different shapes and sizes for the hat. And this is another one. I use coriander. These are coriander seeds. And I use the plastic jar to be able to make this hat. So things around your house that you could use to make a hat stand. Ain't that cool? All right, so the last one I'm going to do, I have this like a blue with different shades of blue in it. And I'm going to do this one using, this is like my little sphere. I could never pronounce it right, but y'all know what it is. And it's a ceramic one. And this is like one of my favorite to use because most times I don't even have to use glue with this one. So let me show you how I do it. Like I said, I look for the center of the placemat and I'm just going to put it over it. And then, like I did the last time or the last few times, I just take my rubber bands and I put them over. And because these rubber bands are extra tight, I have to make sure that they're really secured before I even let them go. And this takes just a couple seconds as well. Look how quick that was. And I want it to go like a little further down to kind of give like a deeper hat. Look at this. Look how far the rubber band is. And look at the brim of the brim of the hat. And look at what it looks like underneath. So we're doing the same thing that we did with the others to kind of reinforce this. After a few days of using this ceramic ball, I usually don't have to use glue. It depends on the material of the placemat too, that I may not have to use glue for this one. But just to give the reinforcement, I do. So after a couple of days, it will remain in place without me having to use glue if I use this particular ceramic ball. And this is what it looks like. So I'm not going to glue this because I will show you in another video what I meant when I said that in a couple of days that if you leave the rubber band, because this rubber band is like really sturdy, that you wouldn't even have to use glue on this one. So I'm just going to leave it so that you could see in a couple of days or a couple hours that I don't even have to mess with it with the glue. But with this ceramic ball, that's what happens. All right, so I hope that you had fun learning how to do these spring hats. I had fun. Actually, I've been wanting to do this for a minute now, but I wanted you to also be able to make your divas and enhance their beauty by adding your spring hats. There's nothing that says spring like a hat. When our divas wear hats, when our first ladies, or when anybody, any woman wears a hat, it just says spring to me. So I hope that you are able to try this and look for things around your house that you'll be able to make these hats with, and try new things. It's about trial and error, and see what works for you. And I hope that you could subscribe to my channel, like my post. I also would love for you to share with others my videos on how to make these springtime and summertime hats. And so if you had a great time today, please remember to subscribe to my channel, turn your notification bell on, because I am going to be showing you a lot of other things and how to do other things during my craft classes, as well as just videos showing you like how I do things for the divas, as well as doing some of my art work. All right, until next time, I will talk to you later.